And I'm bad like the Barbie. I'm a doll, but I still wanna party. Pink felt like I'm ready to bend. I'm a 10, so I pull in a 10. Like Daddy, all of the Barbies is pretty. Damn, all of the Barbies.
Hey guys, welcome back to Star TV. On today's lovely episode, I'm going to be giving you guys 5 signs that someone you know or someone around you is trying to assassinate your self-esteem. Right before we get into today's lovely video, make sure you guys subscribe to Star TV, where you get a new episode every week. Make sure you guys like this video, drop a comment down below, let Star know what you think, and be sure to hit the bell down below and press all so you will be notified each and every time Star posts a new video. Now let's get right into it. How many of us are friends with these type of people? How many of us have family members who are these type of people? And the type of person that I'm referring to is a person who goes out of their way to directly and indirectly assassinate your self-esteem. I dealt with this a lot growing up. I was a victim of bullying where, the main subjective was to make me feel bad about myself since a little girl, So the number one sign that a person is trying to assassinate your self-esteem is this. They constantly criticize and critique your looks or your outfit. A lot of people, when they don't want you to see your value, they don't want you to know your worth, they don't want you to know how beautiful you are, and they don't want you to realize how unique you are, how special you are, how different you are. So instead of pointing out the great things about you, they'll never speak on that. They will only critique you. They'll talk bad about the way you look. They'll pick you apart. They might say, you have big lips or big nose, or they don't like your body shape, or why are you walking like that? Why do your legs look like that? Or people will even go to the length of telling you that you are not attractive and that you are ugly. A lot of people, sometimes if they can't pick apart your looks because they've already done that, what they will do is criticize, your outfit. They will criticize what you have on. They will try to do anything to make you feel low, to make you feel like you're not good enough, that you're not trying hard enough, and that there is something wrong with you. And I'm speaking from personal experience. Growing up in school, especially elementary school, there were girls who would make fun of my nose. They would say, I have a big nose, I have big lips. They would tell me that I was ugly. They would tell me that I was too tall. Mind you, I've been 5'5", ever since elementary. I guess back then I was tall. But, they would just really pick me apart. And it took for me to grow up later on in life and to realize, these girls were actually threatened by me. As a child, they were jealous, They would pull my hair, and I'm not Indian, but since my hair is really long, they would call me an Indian freak. Anything to make me feel that I wasn't enough. And so when you encounter these type of children who are now in the body of adults, who are projecting their insecurities, you got to know how to deal with these people. You have to, 1, stand up for yourself. 2, exude even more confidence. 3, don't allow what people say about you get in your head. Their opinions and their comments do not define you. And anyone who tries to make you feel bad about yourself, anyone who criticizes you and critiques you, and they make that their goal every time that they are around you, this is a person that you need to disconnect from. This is a person who does not wish you well, and they don't like you, and they may potentially see you as a threat. Nothing you do will be good enough for them. And if they can make you feel bad, they will try their hardest to do so. Let's get into tip number 2. Some way, somehow, no matter how nice you are, no matter how kind you are, no matter how sweet you are, they will try to make you feel inferior. And to feel inferior is to feel like you missed the mark. You feel like you haven't amounted to anything. You feel like people are above you. And people like this will be around you, and they will always try to make you feel like you're unaccomplished. We know that life is a process. We know that everyone's progress is different. But these type of people will begin to try to pick you apart by trying to make you feel low. And I actually have a family member, that is like this. It's like no matter how nice I am, how welcoming, how loving, how caring, this particular girl, she always got something to say. But here's what I'm going to tell you. You shouldn't surround yourself with people who like to belittle you. You shouldn't surround yourself with people who like to pick on you. You should never surround yourself with people who bully you. Because we're adults now. Looking at another person's life and saying negative things about their life and trying to diminish their worth and speaking against their progress instead of recognizing, the process that God is taking them through, instead of, giving them their flowers for the things that they did accomplish. Those type of people do the exact opposite. And when you are around such people, it starts to affect your mental health. Those are not your friends if they're making you feel bad about yourself, if they're talking about how you look or what you wear, if they're speaking on your life and comparing your life to somebody else's who's more accomplished to make you feel bad about yourself, to make you feel low. That's not a friend. That's not a family member. And most times when people see you as competition, they want to make you feel small, and they do this so that they can feel better about themselves. You have people like that. Some people, they don't feel good until they put you down. They don't feel good until they diminish and destroy your self-esteem. Sometimes when you are a confident, beautiful woman that's about something, people hate that. They automatically go into defense mode. Who does she think she is? She thinks she's all that. Well, I'm going to show her. I'm going to tell her about herself. That's how people think. And they do not feel full and happy within until they knock you off your high horse. It's okay to be a confident woman, but sometimes your confidence will offend people. And if your confidence and your high self-esteem is offending people, they're going to react. And how do they react? They criticize and critique your looks and your outfit. And number two, some way, somehow, everything that comes out of their mouth is negative, and they will do everything in their power to make you feel bad about yourself. Tip number 3, they will never acknowledge you. And when people don't acknowledge you, right, because we're humans, we want to be seen, we want to be heard. When people don't acknowledge you, you start to feel a certain type of way within. You start to feel less than. You ever come across those type of friends where you could post a video on social media or a picture, right? And that friend doesn't like, that friend doesn't comment, but that friend likes and comments on other people's pictures and videos. Or let's say you made a YouTube channel and you're playing it on your television, you're watching your videos on your television, and a family member walks in the door and they see that you're on the TV, but they look and they keep going. They never acknowledge your channel. They never ask to subscribe. They never ask to support. You will feel unacknowledged. Sometimes when people do this, it's because they don't want to acknowledge anything good that you are doing, because it doesn't make them feel good on the inside to know that one day you could see success. One day you can begin to soar and fly into greatness. It doesn't make them feel good to know that one day it will be you and it won't be them. So instead of congratulating you, celebrating you, complimenting you, giving you your due flowers and praising you, they don't acknowledge you. People who are quiet when you are winning are haters. People who are quiet when you are winning are envious and jealous. They don't wish you well, and 9 times out of 10, they won't clap for you even when you do make it. So when people don't acknowledge you, that is another way that they try to indirectly assassinate your self-esteem. The people who pretend that they don't see you are the ones watching you. The people that pretend they don't see you, they do see you, and they're watching and they're acknowledging, but they don't want you to know that. And that's so important for you to know. You don't need validation from nobody. Do your own thing and shine your light, whether they clap for you or not, whether they acknowledge you or not, whether they compliment you or not. Continue to rise and shine, and don't let people take your confidence from you, because that's one thing I struggle with growing up, especially in elementary school up until a teenager. Being teased and bullied in school, bullied about the way that I looked, the way that I walked, the way that I danced. I allowed people to get into my head where I didn't feel good about myself. I didn't think that I was beautiful growing up, because you have a whole class of people who's saying, oh, you're ugly, you're ugly. So just imagine hearing that. And let me take a second, because I don't want to, be emotional, but You know, those things can truly impact your mental health. And I want, you know, young girls who watch my videos to know that you are brilliant and you are light and you are beautiful. And these type of people who do this to you are unhappy. So you have to know how to conquer them. And if you can't do it by yourself, I'm going to teach you. Let's get into tip number 4. They show more love to others and not to you. And this can happen, you know, in a group where you're just associates, maybe co-workers, maybe acquaintances, or even, unfortunately, in friend groups. You ever have those friends or those family members who show up and show out for everybody else, but when it comes to you, it's quiet. You have to do things alone. They don't celebrate you. They don't acknowledge you. When it comes to showing love and giving love, they do it to everyone but you. Sometimes people do that purposely. Sometimes, you know, most times it's because they don't care and they don't want you to feel important. You know, I noticed that as an adult, sometimes when people love you and they surround you and they flock to you, other people don't take well to that. Sometimes people don't want to see you have community. Sometimes people don't want to see you be loved and celebrated. So you know what they will do? They will show love to everybody but you. You know, you ever had a boss that would acknowledge other people's accomplishments or show love and care to everybody else but you? Those are the people who tried their hardest to make you not feel good enough. They want to make you feel bad, like something's wrong with you. They're threatened by your light, your shine, your beauty, your character. There is something about you that bothers them. Sometimes it's the anointing that God has placed on your life that triggers other people's demons. And sometimes this will be women in their 40s, women who are mothers, women who have experienced so much more life than you, women who are leaders, you know, women who have higher job positions than you. It may be, you know, a coworker, it may be a boss, what have you, but it's something about you where they can't show you love, they can't acknowledge you, they just have to highlight your flaws and they have to make you the problem. Out of everybody, you will be the issue because it's a special light upon you. It's a special favor from God that graces your life and your aura. And every time you walk in a room, people feel that. They sense that it's something different about this girl. She's particular. We can't figure her out. So I'm not going to acknowledge her. We're not going to show her any love because she probably already thinks she's all that. And that's something a lot of women go through. You know, when you're a confident woman, you have a beautiful, humble spirit, a great personality. You know, people are very attracted to you, want to be your friend, want to be around you. Some people will automatically assume that you are stuck up, that you think you are all that, and that you think you're too good to be around. Though, mind you, you never gave them a reason to think like this, but this is how they perceive you because this is their own preconceived notion. Let's get into tip number 5. They will always find a way to have an issue with you. And I don't care who feels offended when they watch this video. I don't care who assumes that it may be about them, because it probably is. When you are a person and you are very about your business, you have a good head on your shoulders, you're very intelligent, you know what you want out of life. You know, you don't do the drama. You don't like going back and forth with people. You don't like arguing. You always take the high road. You just want to be happy and free. You're pursuing your relationship with God. And maybe you haven't spoken to someone in a while. You know, maybe they're a friend or a family member. Maybe, you know, you just been doing your own thing and people haven't been hearing from you. Right? Or maybe you've been just so kind to people and some way, somehow they make up in their head that they have an issue with you. And you see this in their behavior towards you. You see this the way they speak to you and the way they deal with you. You know, these are people that you need to stay away from, because when people are consistently trying to argue with you and come against you, they are not only breaking down your spirit and your mental health, but they're attacking your self-esteem, because after a while you start to think, what's wrong with me? Why does everyone have a problem with me? You know, why does everyone have an issue with me? What did I do? You know, and you start to reflect and try to find an issue within you, but it's not your issue. It's them projecting. It's them being envious. It's them, you know, being an enemy. It's them trying to be a sheep in wolf's clothing. I had a person call me recently, and we're blood. And she said, what's the issue between me and you? And I'm on the phone because I'm like, never did I answer my phone for this girl. And she talking about what's the issue. I'm like, girl, what issue? She's like, what's the issue between me and you? I'm like, what issue? It's no issue. And I had to sit there and think, like, because you haven't heard from me in 2 weeks, there's an issue, you know, and you know, somewhat of what I'm going through. Like, you know, it's my birthday week. I'm trying to get myself together. I'm going to see Nikki. You know, I'm just trying to, you know, just be at peace right now. I'm taking time away from people just so I could pray, meditate, get myself together, speak life over myself, try to figure out what I want to do with my life now that I'm 26, where I want to be by the time I'm 30. I'm trying to figure out the plans that I have for this YouTube channel, where I want to take it, how I want to brand it. You know, I'm just thinking about a lot. And the one person that I'm so kind to and that I love dearly, we're like blood. No, we are blood. But, you know, the one person that I really don't have an issue with is calling me like, what's the issue? So people like that will also, whether they know they're doing it or not, they're assassinating your self-esteem, because now you're thinking, well, what did I do to make her feel like she had an issue? But sometimes people just make up things in their head, and there is nothing that you can do with it. So if you've been kind to people and they always making up an issue, you know, with you, they always seem to have a problem with you, and you've done everything that you can, you've exhausted all other methods of love and kindness, don't break yourself with people. Know that if you don't want to reply to somebody's text message right away, you don't have to. If someone calls you and you don't return the call, don't let nobody press you about it or make you feel guilty. If you don't feel like answering your phone, that's your right. You know, if you don't feel like hanging out, that's also your right. And recently, you know, I was supposed to go somewhere, but I wasn't in the most comfortable space to do so. And I decided not to go. And that was the best choice for me, and I give myself a round of applause, because normally I'm running and hopping and skipping and jumping for everybody else, even when I don't feel like it. But I chose to put myself first this time, and that's what I want you guys to do. Put yourself first. Do not be around toxic people, people who make you feel worthless, people who diminish your value, people who do not make you feel loved. They don't show love to you, they show love to everybody else. They don't acknowledge you, they acknowledge everybody else. They criticize the way that you look, they critique your outfits, you know, they try to make you feel inferior, and they always have a problem with you. I'm in this season of my life where if you have a problem with me, just don't come around me. If you have a problem with me, just don't speak to me. If you feel that I'm a problem, don't come near me. You know, sometimes we have to disconnect from people even when it hurts. And remember, blood doesn't make you family. Love makes you family. Loyalty makes you family. Caring, you know, being a caring person makes you family. We have to be wise with how we deal with people, and we have to be wise on how we receive people, because if they're affecting your peace, they gotta go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something from it. This is Star TV, and until next time, I will see you soon. Peace.